Welcome in, guys. Thank you very much for joining me today. I really hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you're enjoying the NBA playoffs as much as I am. So, what we're going to do today is first, we're going to talk about the conference semifinal games. I'm going to give my take and reaction to each of the series, what I liked, what I didn't like, and just overall opinions from all the games. And second, we're going to look forward to the conference finals, look at the series there, and I'm going to give my predictions on who's going to win each series and thus who's going to be in the NBA finals. So we got some awesome stuff to talk about today. And before we jump into all of that, I would like to mention that on my YouTube channel, I create content about money, sports, and personal topics with the goal of bringing value to other people's lives. So if you guys find value in this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. And also hit that like button and make some comments on what you thought of the conference semifinals and your predictions for the conference finals as well. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, guys, the first series that we're going to talk about is the matchup between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Los Angeles Lakers. So this was Shea Gilgeous Alexander versus LeBron. And this really wasn't competitive at all. The Oklahoma City Thunder swept the Los Angeles Lakers 4-0, and it was a pretty dominant win in each of the games. So in this series, I had predicted that OKC would win. I was thinking they would win this series in five. I thought the Lakers might be able to squeeze out a win, but that wasn't the case. Lakers couldn't get one win, and OKC won the series 4-0. So, as a Lakers fan, I was definitely disappointed. My hope was that the Lakers would be somewhat competitive in the first few games of the series. I thought maybe they could get a game in LA, game three or four. And I was hopeful that maybe Luka Doncic would come back at some point in the middle or end of the series and that might flip the series. But that was just wishful thinking on my end. OKC with SGA, Chet Holmgren, and the rest of the boys, they handled their business. Um, they didn't really give any life to the Lakers. You know, LeBron, he played pretty well in the series. Austin Reeves came back in the series, but they're just not, the two of them are just not enough to be able to compete with the Oklahoma City Thunder, the defending champs. Um, and with the now back to back MVP, Shea Gilgeous Alexander, the Thunder were just too much for the Lakers. Even if Luka Doncic had come back, I mean, the Lakers would have been more competitive, but I don't know how much of a difference that would have made. The Lakers might have won a game, maximum two, but Luka Doncic coming back would not have fixed the Lakers' defensive issues. So, I mean, it was a good series to watch, but just as a Lakers fan, I was definitely disappointed. Um, the Lakers just can't defend at all, and Luka Doncic did not come back in this series, so it was just kind of disappointing series as a Lakers fan, but congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder. They definitely look like the best team in the NBA. They look like the defending champs, and they definitely deserved to sweep the Lakers in this series. All right, so the best series, in my opinion, from the conference semifinal round was the matchup between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the San Antonio Spurs. So in this one, I had predicted that the Timberwolves would win this series. And the reason I was thinking that was the Timberwolves' previous series versus the Denver Nuggets. They played really well and they beat a very good Denver Nuggets team with Nikola Jokic. And I was just very impressed how they played in that series. And I thought the Spurs are still just a little too young. I wasn't sure how Victor Wembanyama was going to play in the playoffs versus some tougher competition, but the series definitely did not go as I was predicting. The Spurs take out the Timberwolves in 6 games, and it was really just an amazing series to watch. Um, I love to watch both of these teams play. For the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, Ayo Dosunmu, like all those guys can play. They're very good defensively. They play very hard. So I just really like to watch the Timberwolves play, and I definitely thought they were going to win this series. But the San Antonio Spurs, they're just a lot better than honestly I was even expecting. I know they've been really good all season, but they pretty much dominated the Timberwolves in this series, other than a game or two, and the game where Victor Wembanyama got ejected from the game. I was really, really impressed what I saw from the San Antonio Spurs. Um, I didn't realize their role players were this good. Stefan Castle is a beast. Vassell is a beast. De'Aaron Fox was unstoppable. Victor Wembanyama, unstoppable. He was just all over the floor defensively. So the Spurs honestly are just a lot better than I was expecting, and they definitely impressed me a lot in this series. And I mean, just going forward, honestly, like Victor Wembanyama is only in his third season in the NBA. He's already won Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. He's in the conference finals. Honestly, I think when it's all said and done in 15, 20 years, he might be the GOAT. And if not, he's definitely going to be in that conversation. He's only 22 years old and he's got another 15 to 20 years in the NBA to go. So I think we're going to be talking about Wemby as the GOAT or one of the GOATs at the end of his career. And I think this is just the starting point for him. So, really good job by the Spurs. I thought the Timberwolves had a chance. They played tough. Their defense is amazing, but the Spurs were just incredible in this series. And they're going to go ahead and face the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over to the Eastern Conference now. The conference semifinal matchups. The first series we're going to talk about is the series between the New York Knicks and Philadelphia 76ers. And In my prediction in this series, I was very wrong. I had picked the 76ers to win the series, and also with them, similar to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I liked how the 76ers played in their last series versus the Boston Celtics. I thought Boston Celtics were going to win that series. I thought Boston was going to be the better team, but the 76ers ended up winning that series. And I was just very impressed with how the 76ers played against the Celtics. Joel Embiid was playing really good, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George. So going into this series versus the New York Knicks, I just thought since the Sixers beat the Celtics, I thought they had a good chance of beating the Knicks, but I was very wrong on this series. The New York Knicks sweep the 76ers 4-0. I was not expecting that. The New York Knicks have been playing really, really well these whole playoffs. They've been blowing teams out by 30, 40, 50 points. And I was really, really impressed by the New York Knicks in this series. They just have a lot of different guys on the team. They have a very deep team. Jalen Brunson, Carl Anthony Towns are their two leaders, but they also have all these other very, very good role players like Josh Hart, OG Ananobi, and they just really play well as a team. A lot of guys score in double digits. So it was just really impressive to watch the New York Knicks in this one. Um, I didn't realize they were going to sweep the 76ers. I thought, with Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, I definitely thought the 76ers would be more competitive and have a chance, but the Knicks shut him out and they move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. So, only good things to say about the New York Knicks. They're definitely the most impressive team in the Eastern Conference so far. We'll see if they actually make the finals, but just from a eye test, they definitely look like the best team in the Eastern Conference, and we'll see if they make the finals. And the last series that we're going to talk about from the conference semifinals is the matchup between the Detroit Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And this was a pretty good matchup of number one seed and number four seed in the East. Going into the series, I predicted that the Detroit Pistons would win the series. I thought they would advance just because they've been the number one overall seed in the Eastern Conference the whole season. And even though they struggled in their first round versus the Magic, I just thought that they would play better in this series and advance. But that wasn't the case. It was still a very close series. The Cleveland Cavaliers win the series in game seven in Detroit, which was really impressive. And they move on to the Eastern Conference Finals to play the New York Knicks. So this series was very, very evenly matched. Um, Detroit Pistons, they won the, I believe, first two games. Cavaliers won the next two games. So it was tied up at 2-2. And it ended up going all the way to game seven in Detroit. And honestly, I thought that Detroit would win this series and this game just because having a game seven in your home building is a big deal. But the Cavaliers with Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, they played really well in game seven and they were able to advance to the conference finals. So very, very impressive by the Cavs to knock out the number one seed in the East. And they'll be facing off with the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. And that's definitely going to be a good series to watch. All right, guys, now we get to the best part of the show. We're going to take a look at the conference finals matchups, and we're going to make some predictions in each series. So, this is my favorite part of the show. And a lot of these series in the conference semifinals and in the conference finals, sometimes they're actually better than the NBA finals themselves. And I think that's what we're going to have this time around. I think the Western Conference finals is technically going to be the NBA finals. I think these are the two best teams. So this is why we love the NBA playoffs. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Western Conference Finals is going to be between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. Number one seed, Oklahoma City Thunder. Number two seed, San Antonio Spurs. So I've thought about this, and honestly, it's very, very tough to pick which of these two teams I think is going to win the series. Oklahoma City Thunder are the defending champs. They have the back to back MVP, Shea Gilgis Alexander, and they've just been really the best team in the NBA for a couple years now. On the other side, the San Antonio Spurs, they're just incredible as well. They're not as experienced as the Thunder. They have a lot younger team, but still very, very good team as well. Both of the teams are very good defensively. On the offensive end, they share the ball. Everybody touches the ball. It looks very smooth, and they just have very good systems on both teams. So my pick, I think I'm gonna go with the Oklahoma City Thunder to win the Western Conference Finals over the San Antonio Spurs. I think the Thunder's experience these last couple years, winning the title last year and just playoffs before that, the fact that they have a back to back MVP, and I just think they're more experienced, and I just think they're a little better than the San Antonio Spurs. So my pick is for the Oklahoma City Thunder to beat the San Antonio Spurs. And I mean, my expectation is that this is going to go 6 or 7 games. So I think the Thunder win the series. I'm going to say in 6 games because if it goes to game seven, anything's possible. So I'm going to go with OKC in 6 games and the Thunder to represent the Western Conference in the finals. All right. On the other side, Cleveland Cavaliers versus the New York Knicks. Cleveland Cavaliers, they have a really good roster with Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. They've had a pretty good playoff run so far. On the other side, New York Knicks, they've definitely been the best team in the Eastern Conference the whole season and in these playoffs. And they just have a lot of firepower with Brunson, Carl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart, Anunoby, and other guys. So I just think the Knicks are going to be a little too much for the Cavaliers. And the Knicks do have the home court advantage. They were the higher seed in the regular season. So I think the Knicks beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in 5 or 6 games. I don't expect this to be too long of a series. I do think the New York Knicks are just a better basketball team. So my official pick is that the New York Knicks beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in 5 games, and that the New York Knicks represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals. So there you have it. My pick is that the Oklahoma City Thunder beat the San Antonio Spurs in 6 games, and that the New York Knicks beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in 5 games. And therefore, my expectation is NBA Finals would be Oklahoma City Thunder versus the New York Knicks. And we'll see what happens once we get to that point. We'll make some more predictions, or I'll make my NBA Finals prediction. We'll see if I pick the right teams to make the finals. But can't wait to watch all these games, all these series. I really hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this content and got some value out of it. If you did, again, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. Hit that subscribe button and make some comments on your reaction to the conference semifinals and your prediction for the conference finals as well. I'll see you guys next time, and take care.